Today's AI headlines: an AI system has disproved the Jacobian conjecture. Now, I'm not a mathematician, I'm not going to get into the details, but here's why I think this is interesting. So first off, this is a pretty big, pretty old problem. People have been trying to solve this for at least 80 years, and there's a long history of good mathematicians thinking that they've solved it, and they actually haven't. The problem ranks quite high on a scale of like problems that are quite simple conceptually, but apparently really hard to solve. And I think this result is pretty interesting for a few reasons. First of which is that it's actually surprising. Like, people like to talk about, oh, what if AI proves the Riemann hypothesis or something like that. But the thing is, the Riemann hypothesis is true. Like, we can't prove it, but realistically it's true. They've checked numerically out to a bajillion. So if we had a proof of that, that would be very interesting, and maybe the proof would use some cool new techniques and stuff, but we wouldn't be surprised by the result. But in this case, the Jacobian conjecture was disproved, and we kind of thought that was true. It's not like the Riemann hypothesis. We weren't extremely confident, but I think most people thought that it was true, and some people had kind of built things on top of the assumption that it was true. The other surprising thing is that the counterexample is small. Almost everyone who thought that a counterexample might be found at some point assumed that it would be huge. It would be, hundreds of dimensions. But in fact, the counterexample that Claude Fable found is just a few variables, just a few dimensions. It fits in a tweet, and that was actually how it was announced. People have been having fun telling models about this and watching them freak out in their chain of thought. I had a chat where I congratulated Claude Fable for this achievement, and it said, well, that wasn't really me. That was a different instance, so I'm not going to take any credit. It's kind of like reading about your sibling in the newspaper. I thought that was cute. Some people still think that AI is dumb and can't do anything. I wonder what it will take.